muddy water on the floor and use the glass to bank it in.
He already has 3 double-doubles this season. Liz Shoshi, another senior starter for West Flanagan. Allen, why not?
He's built this program and his program at Louisiana Tech on the defensive end, extremely athletic, long. This team fits his personality and also fits his system.
They've held every opponent this year under its average in terms of points per game. And Missouri right now playing without Russell Woods, a senior big man with 2 fouls. That 3.
Moved it around the perimeter, slid the defense side to side.
This is a Little Rock team that averages just under 7 3-point field goals a game. They went 0 for 15 in their...
Robinson takes it all the way and found.
No John Igbunu tonight, the big man, number 15, still nursing a sore left hamstring for Mike White's club. That's why 13 in white, Kavarius Hayes gets the start.
He's missed the last game as well as tonight's games, but they do feel like he'll be back in time for conference play. They'll open up against Arkansas.
Here's Robinson, much improved this season.
Bruce Brown's just such a good athlete. He doesn't have to force anything. Even when he gets into the collapses of the defense, he can elevate and move and take an off-balance shot that's close. You don't mind that. You mind a fade away from 15 feet there. Okay, where we going? We're going to get inside here. We've got a lot of passing, the ball on the perimeter. Okay, Robinson drives into the lane. Perfect.
But, Coach, I think you're right. In the SEC right now, when we talk about this conference, we talk about it being young. There's a lot of young teams, whether it's Mississippi State, who's the youngest team in the conference. Obviously, Kentucky is young, but they're kind of different when you look at their youthfulness because of the talent that they're able to bring in on a consistent basis. But these young teams like Auburn and Missouri, they're just trying to find consistency and belief and try to overcomplicate things. And I think that's the big challenge for Missouri.
Next play, next game. I mean, you got to have a short memory. It's kind of like my golf game when I start shanking the ball.
I was going to say,
off the bounce. But as they set those screens, he's got to set screens up, come off screens, and he is an advantage because of his size against
Up in the air.
Back to one possession. Here's Casey Hill. Allen off the curl. Whoa! Leon with the ball fake. Goes to his right.
There. That was probably even when you were in the NBA, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was there too short. I can't remember those days.
Okay, yeah.
It's as if the ball doesn't feel comfortable in any of their hands. You haven't seen a player tonight, maybe except for the exception of Sebastian Saiz.
Shot fake. Need to know. Most of these players are going to do one thing, and you have to stop the one thing that they can do positively. Tough tape.
So the hard part is that's a part of your offense. Your turnovers are a part of your offense. Now, can you convert on those? Can you continue to create them? And when teams aren't turning the ball over the way you're used to, how can you?
But the good thing for Georgia, too, is they actually play the top 3 twice. They get home and home, so you have a tougher schedule, but you really want that in the SEC because there aren't a lot of opportunities to improve your RPI.
On the drive, Allen. Barry, a runner.
Those 2 guards, Patterson and Mays, have been terrific. And I think it's why Johnny Jones finally said, look, we got to have them on the floor together. 1st and 5th in assisted turnover.
But we've seen LSU fight through these deficits before.
The slow starts have certainly been something that they've battled. Nice pass.
Igbunu.
Nice. What's interesting about Florida, too, is they've been up in a lot of those halves. And so do guys relax? Do guys start thinking about their own stuff, their own stats, their own offense?
Leon with another 3.
Wow.
LSU gave up 110 to Wake Forest. They gave up 90.
For Oklahoma, Dick, you made a great point when we went to commercial break. You should tell the audience that your young players, half-court basketball is very tough.
Very tough for these young freshman kids. See, Florida, a little more experience, can execute in that.
Went to Armand Davis. He didn't play in the first half at all. They were down 14. He came in and hit on a couple of threes, and it was a different.
Play a fundamental role in many communities despite the dangers of the sport. That's after the game tonight. Hill, the jumper over Gabriel, yes.
Or excuse me, that was Harad. We'll force Barry to give it up. Chiozza, he's
in college basketball. Glad you're with us here in Gainesville. Joe Tessitore and Sean Farnham, the SEC on ESPN. Florida 29-16 lead, shooting 62. All 5 Florida starters have already scored, including the 4 seniors being honored here tonight.
And no surprise what Mike Anderson told us. Defense starts on defense. We need to make sure we are consistent in our defensive approach. And right now they're...
Barry saves it.
Florida State's really playing great basketball. Had another win today, one big against Virginia Tech. They beat the Gators down there in Tallahassee.
Little leaner off. Nature to it, Sean, but you don't want to see slippage. You don't want to develop bad habits. You want to make sure you're playing the right way, and that's the challenge going into a game like they have Saturday.
Who was the best guy you ever saw, Seth, at playing in a game like this and keeping that level of focus? Anybody come to mind?
Wow, that's a tough.
Probably could have ended in a dunk. I think Bunu had his mindset on offensive rebounds.
Robinson needed to get rid of it.
That is their one and only 3 of the half. Barry.
The night, a season can turn around like that. But until they start guarding people, it's going to be tough.
First 3 of the night. Hit by Patterson. And another.
And Albert Robinson, that is a heavy load for Florida to carry. And LSU doing a nice job pounding to those guys early.
This year, he's a difference maker.
Kevin Allen first half at 11 points on 5 of 8 shooting. He hasn't put a shot up yet here in the second half. Hill behind Egbunu. Beautiful feed to Barry.
And per corner, you can get that guy at the bottom running out at you. You can beat him or you can knock down shots. Good execution.
Strong to the rim there by Wilridge. Chiozza. Barry, nice cut, nice find.
Well, that's where a lot of people, you look at the box score the next day and say, oh, well, they beat up on a 1-7 LSU team. Florida took this game. I mean, they took the life out of LSU early, and they look like a team that's lost 2 in a row.
Last year as a freshman, struggled most of this season. Last 3 games, he shot it well.
Barry. Back to a 7-point Tigers lead. It is Barry with a quick trigger for 3.
In that game against Mississippi State, played only 18 minutes against Kentucky, only 9 minutes against South Carolina, so only contributing 3 points in the last 2 games, as you mentioned. The feed.
Offensively than they are. I mean, look, they're giving up 88 points a game in conference. Their opponents are shooting 48% from the field. That's just not going to. That's how you be
playing with some pride, playing with some heart. They were not playing with a lot of intensity or emotion.
That was their first 3-point basket after missing their first 6. Open hands Hayes, and he.
Yeah, with nowhere to go. That's a no-no.
Leon with his strong.
They're right now really up there with Kentucky in the SEC. Now they're 1 game behind.
Leon.
Offensive rebound percentage. Teams are able to crash the offensive glass and have success. Can't have that happen today.
Nice on the roll from Lee.
Bunu.
9-point lead for the Gators. Stone inside, banks it home, and the lead is a...
Florida's a great transition team. What's the purpose of that for Mark Fox against these Gators?
Delay and disrupt. Just take some time off the shot clock, force them to get into their continuity a little bit later than normal.
Shields is so strong. A little bit over the last 4 games, certainly seeing that tonight in Columbia as the Gamecocks are struggling to find the basket.
Yeah, I would hope South Carolina's the team that makes their money on their defense, because goodness gracious, what they shoot, 10% in that first half?
Primarily defensive teams. Florida and South Carolina, 2 of the best defensive teams in all of college basketball, and maybe that's not as sexy to some from a national perspective.